everyone, welcome back to Gardening from Square One, and if you are new here, welcome. I am Lynn, and a few weeks ago I made a video providing 5 tips to help you get your garden ready for summer. Well, it's August, and I think everywhere we are all in our dog days of summer. So I have 5 additional tips to help you get your plants and your garden through summer and also to deal with those pesky spider mites. So let's just get started. Okay, so in the last video I talked about the importance of water. You know, just like us, we can go weeks, without food. We can go long time without food, but we can't go more than about 3 days or so without water. The most important thing our plants will need is water, but you want to do it at the right time. You want to water early in the morning or late in the evening because of evaporation. So just to give you an idea, if you're not familiar with this, nobody knows everything, myself definitely included, but just a 10-degree temperature jump. So from 90 degrees to 100 degrees, it will double the evaporation loss on plants. And if you live somewhere where the humidity is less than 30%, that increases significantly. So you want to make sure that your plants get the water that you're trying to provide for them. So you want to water during the early morning or late in the evening, but definitely not the hottest part of the day. And if you have plants like I have plants that are not on drip irrigation, so like these trees, these crepe myrtle trees, which they're about to bloom. But what you want to do, instead of coming out with your nozzle and turning it on and just watering the trees, you want to put your nozzle on soaker mode, because this mode is going to most replicate drip irrigation. And then when I turn it back on using this valve, I'm going to look for the drip stream that I need to provide for these trees. And then of course, don't put it near the tree trunks, because you don't want to inundate the bottom, the trunks of the tree with all of this water. So you're going to put it somewhere near the actual root zone of the trees. I always set a timer because I get distracted, and I also need to water 3 trees. So when the timer comes off, of course, I come out and I will move this nozzle to one of the other trees in this area. But that is how I water this, still early in the morning or late in the evening, to avoid evaporation loss, because ultimately the water we're taking out of these hoses, we want them to get to the trees. And that is the most effective way of getting the most amount of water to the trees. You're going to water early in the morning or late in the evening. So next, if you have some little plant like this is a butterfly bush, it's hardy down to zone 5, and it is very heat and drought tolerant, but it is, making sure that wasn't a spider. It is a little plant, and I'm going to be going out of town. So I don't want to leave it on the patio, because for sure I will come back and this plant, as drought tolerant as it is, it would be dead. So what I will do is, in one of my areas, my part sun or part shade or filtered sun area, I'm going to go dig a hole a little wider than this plant, and only dig to the depth that the plant, the last 1.5 or 2 inches, is still raised above the soil. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this in the hole, put all the dirt around it, and then add drip to this little plant. It's insulated by whatever potting mix was used by the company, I guess Bloom Republic. And then the soil that I'll put around it when I dig the hole will provide further insulation of these roots during the heat. But the most important thing, I'm going to put an emitter on it, so it's going to be watered when I'm gone. Now, the reason why I did not soak it all the way in, and you can put mulch around it on top of it, but the reason why I didn't soak it all the way in is in a couple of months or so, we're going to be into fall temperatures, and it's easier to pull it out of the ground when you don't submerge the whole pot in the ground. So in a couple of months or so, I will take it out of that hole because I'm going to leave it there even when we get back. I'm going to take it out of the hole, and at that point I will plant it. So that's a tip. If you have any plants that you find that you just have to plant them because you're going to be out of town and you know they're going to die because you can't water it, just go out in your yard, find a part sun, filtered sun, the shadiest location, but still letting the plant get, some sunlight, at least about four hours of sunlight. Just go ahead and dig a hole, pop the whole thing in the hole, put the soil around it, and let it live there for the next couple months or so. I've done this for years. I've done this with brand new band roses. So they really, really have small and weak root systems. And I've done that in areas that are a lot hotter than Texas. So those plants make it through just fine. So if you find yourself in this scenario, this is something that will definitely work for you. But above all, this is not planting season for just about anyone. You want to avoid planting plants. I mentioned that in my last video, but in case you have to, that is one little trick that I've used. And one tip for y'all who are like me and you garden in hot climates, if the plant says full sun, part sun, and a hot climate, plant it in the part sun. Veronica is one of those plants. My Veronica, exact same variety in full sun, they can't take it. But part sun, filtered sun, they are happy as can be. Okay, next, spider mites and aphids. So there are two products that I recommend for that. One is insecticidal soap. They're safer. Bonite makes a very good insecticidal soap. The key thing you want to remember is do not use the insecticidal soap sprays when the temperatures are over 90 degrees. So you're going to want to go out earlier in the morning, later in the evening. I have so many pollinators in my garden, and if you have a lot of pollinators, you're probably going to want to go out later in the day. But the insecticidal soap definitely works for dealing with aphids and also spider mites. So why does it work? Insecticidal soap, it disrupts a spider mite cell membranes, which will cause dehydration and death. So another product that works very well is Growers Ally Spider Mite Control. Now this has a different chemical structure than insecticidal soap. It is an oil. So this oil works because it suffocates the spider mites. Now this one, just like the insecticidal soap, you want to make sure you spray it when the temperatures are under, I would say 80, 90 degrees, and definitely no more than 90 degrees because you will potentially damage your plants. You'll cause leaf burn and things like that. But they are very effective. I usually start with the insecticidal soap because number one, it's cheaper. You can get a concentrate of insecticidal soap for about half the cost of the Ally Spider Mite Control. But those little buggers, they develop resistance, and you sometimes will find that you need to alternate between insecticidal soap and then a targeted miticide like Growers Ally Spider Mite Control. You may also find that about a week later, you're going to have to retreat the area because sometimes there's eggs that you don't get that hatch and then they're right back up your plant. So, y'all, it's hot out here. When I walked out, it was 90 degrees. It feels like it's 95 now. And it's humid in the mornings. But anyway, we're going to get through this. So you're going to use this product according to whatever the instructions are on the package. Usually, something like a tablespoon or two to a gallon. So go ahead and mix it up. Be safe. But the key thing you want to remember beyond following the instructions on the label is to use this product early in the morning. Do not use it when it's 100 degrees. You can use it when your temperatures climb to 100 degrees. You just don't want to apply it at that time. Now, I find if you apply later on in the evening, you know for certain that the leaves are going to dry completely before it becomes 90, 100 degrees the next day. So that's my tip, is just spray it later on in the day. You don't have to worry about your pollinators, and you don't have to worry about burning the leaves. You're going to want to alternate it, because those little buggers, they will become, they will adapt. They will get used to it, and you'll need to use a different product. But they work. Make sure that you water the plants first. So you're going to want to water the plants the day before. Make sure the plants are nice and hydrated. Start with a blast of water before you spray, because that's going to knock the mites and the webs kind of off of where they're hanging out. When you actually spray the insecticidal soap, you're going to make sure you spray the undersides of the leaves and also the tops, of course. Now, the reason why you don't want to use things like neem oil and also different horticultural oils is because they're not for temperatures above 80 to 90 degrees. You definitely don't want to use those. And there's also predatory mites that some people use effectively. But the key thing to remember with the predatory mites is you have to have the right environment for them to work. If you don't have somewhere around 60% humidity or higher, the predatory mites are probably not going to work that well in your garden. The good thing about the insecticidal soap, though, is it will work not just on those spider mites, but it also works on aphids and other little bugs that you might have. Adding mulch is something that you can still do. I mentioned this in my previous video, but because rain can cause erosion and create bare spots, just like before, you're going to want to walk around your garden, see if there are any bare spots, and go ahead and add that mulch, because the mulch helps with soil temperature regulation, and it's extremely beneficial when it's hot, so during these dog days of summer. So don't be afraid. Go ahead and add more mulch if you need to. And y'all, the last tip, take care of you. Wear your sunscreen, put on your hats. If you're pruning things or deadheading things with thorns, put on your safety goggles. And if you're like me, you're a prime mosquito target. Pull out the picaridin. Wear light clothes, not dark clothes, because mosquitoes, they have a difficult time seeing the light. It's easy for them to see the dark. So remember all these things when you're out there, because those little buggers, they carry diseases and you don't want to get sick. And it's just annoying, the itch, like right there. Because you all, if you don't take care of you, who's going to take care of your garden? At least the way you want it to be taken care of. So if you found any of this information useful, please give it a thumbs up. Consider clicking like, subscribe, and notifications. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a great day in your garden. Bye.